Hello, my lovely listeners. I hope you are well. I am speaking today with no camera on because I it's just so much preparation for the camera and it's just not always something that I am ready to do. So again, if you are listening, whichever way you are listening, welcome to my podcast. I wanted to come on today and really thought, okay, I'll just speak out of my heart, out of my soul. I don't have an agenda of what to speak today about, but I just had to go and reach out and say things that are on my head, things that I've experienced. And otherwise, I just felt like I was going to burst. So it just has to come out from me. It's just something that my soul is calling me to do. And it's not perfect, it's raw, is got very rough edges to it, but it's just something that for some reason, I have to keep doing, and I cannot stop, because when I stop, it just feels like I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing on here on earth, and I haven't found anything else, and this is kind of the only thing that I have found, that even though it's hard and even though it's sometimes cringy and I don't really know how to do it exactly, and why I am doing it, I know, but how to do it so it's better and I don't know, reaches many people. And sometimes I feel like, does this reach anyone? But doesn't really matter is if it reaches one person and help this person to maybe understand things differently, help them to recognize their soul calling, helps them to kind of come out of the maybe of the ego, or is just like a stepping stone to get to know some other things and develop and maybe find their soul calling, or make them a little bit more happy if they are unhappy, or try to reflect on themselves or on yourselves, the listener who is listening to me, who found me, and yes, help you reflect on yourself. Maybe there is going to stir some questions in you, because one thing I was thinking about is I would love a dialogue. It's not about me, although I speak about my experience and what I have been through and my thoughts about this and my reflections. I don't want to be a main character in that. The main character is you. I am the main character of my life, and you are the main character of your life. And it's great when we can share and say, this is what works for me, this is great for me, these are the best steps that these are the steps that I have taken in this situation. But obviously we got there from somewhere else. No one is the same as you. We are all different, although we all having different experience. Even if we are having the same experience, we are not experiencing it the same way. It's like, I don't know if you've seen, there was this picture of two people on the train and just going somewhere, and one person sitting on the right hand side and the other on the left hand side, and the person sitting on the left hand side sees rocks just very close to the train, because the train just happens to go near the rocks or the mountain, whatever it is. And the person sitting on the right hand side sees beautiful sea and horizon in front of them, because on the other side of the train there is a view of the sea, and the person looking at the rock is saying that's not the view I was hoping for. Like, I cannot see anything. And the person looking at the sea is is just amazed and is thankful. And I think that's like an extreme metaphor of two people being or my being in the same situation and looking at this situation differently. Like we say, sometimes something might look so horrible and might be challenging, but then after a year or so we look at this situation again and we are like, wow, that's why it happened, that's why this situation happened, because otherwise I wouldn't see this and that, and I wouldn't discover those things about me. So it's like I am in my situation where I am, and maybe other people would make different decisions and at some point get to the same place, and I am making different decisions and different choices, and I end up in this other place. And for some people, being like I am now in quite let's say it's not a solitude, but just being by themselves, that would be really hard maybe, and they wouldn't make this choice to be by themselves. And I don't know, in this situation maybe they would try to avoid that at some point. For me, being with myself is pleasant, but I also know that it's not gonna last, this situation. And whenever I am like that by myself, I'm trying to enjoy those moments as much as I can, because first of all, I like myself, and I've always liked myself, being with myself. I feel like I am funny. I feel like I am never bored, because there's always little things around me that bring me joy. And there is television as well, which I just started watching after a long period of not watching TV. I have been watching and like watching Korean dramas. I think that's so cringy, and I'm sorry to anyone who's like, I cannot listen to this person anymore. But it's just, I think for me, it's a remedy to everything that's happening, I think, around the world. They are just showing a lot of love. Usually there's like a romance, and maybe that's what I'm craving. And I think that a lot of millions of other people who are watching this. So, and this is my experience, and I enjoy that to the extent, but also I can reflect on that, and I can see the funny moments, and I know that that's not end all and be all and end all. It's just, I prefer that to like crime dramas or horrors, or I don't know, some other things which sometimes I watch as well. But this one is about love, and I feel like there's just a moment I just felt like I wanted to go back and watch it. But anyway, where I came from that is that everyone has got their own experience, and someone else might come and say, oh, I have amazing solution for you, but it might not work for you. You don't understand. You don't want this solution. You feel like this person doesn't know what they are talking about. They don't know your feelings. They don't understand your feelings. And obviously, listening to other people's experiences, especially if they have a real knowledge, like they study that, they've experienced that, they've seen other people in similar situations, is obviously good to listen to that and take that into account. But ultimately is your own kind of reflection about yourself as well. Like if you can reflect on yourself and all those feelings and observe them and see them kind of from the inside out. Reflection is asking yourself questions, asking and trying to figure out where the specific emotion or where the specific view is coming from. Obviously, there's there's this way, the reflection way, that's when there is like an issue. The issue that, for example, comes up for a lot of people is their worthiness, their the kind of imposter syndrome. That's like one of the examples that I've heard through lots and lots of people, and it can manifest itself as I am not worthy, like I don't represent anything, or like being really just not feeling the self-worth, being quite low, and just in general in life, like not feeling that you belong something, and taking it all the way to the top. Because believe me, as hard as it's to understand, is the little girl or little boy in the class full of classmates feeling low self-worth, it then goes on and is represents itself as a someone higher up doing amazing things and being great, or perceive that they are great in some sort of high flying paying job, or just any position, and they are still having the same sort of imposter syndrome and feeling that they might not be enough, or that they are lacking something, or that like sometimes like a fear almost that they're going to be recognized for some, that they don't know something, for example. So all of those examples of then asking yourself questions like where is it coming from, who thinks so, how did you come to this conclusion, and then again and again, and asking yourself these questions. And then I'm just making this kind of shorter, and that cannot be the answer for you. And the answer, just to be clear, the answer is never, ever, ever that you are something worse than, or that you have self-esteem because you don't deserve. And let me tell you that again, this is never, ever the answer. Everyone and each of us is where they are because they deserved it, because they did things and they exist here, just not even did things, they exist here for a reason, and the reason is existence, and the reason is experience. So really, obviously we can kind of dig deeper of self-worth coming from the childhood is usually not receiving enough love, and that's kind of a very common thing for a lot of people, and it's I don't want to say banal, but it is kind of banal, because we all have this in common. And even someone who on paper looks like they received lots of love and everything was fine, there will be something at some moment, of some point, that wasn't enough for them, that they were like maybe more sensitive, maybe they needed this on this particular day and it wasn't given because mom and dad were busy, or this or that. There's lots and lots of different scenarios, and obviously some of them obviously are very tragic, but from the experience and speaking to a lot of people, different people, diverse people, there is lots of I don't deserve this, and I have this myself, and I have the fear of not deserving it very often, or not, or being like an imposter syndrome. Like on this podcast, for example, sometimes I'm just thinking, what am I even doing? And sometimes people reach out to me and they want to be on my podcast, and I'm thinking, but how come? Like this is me. I am no one's famous, I am no one important, and I know I am putting myself down here just to show you, just to show how of some of those thoughts and some of those programs, how they are running us. And obviously, once you kind of agree or go with this thought, then you can find a lot of examples of, oh yeah, because this and this happened and this person said that. And obviously that's another subject where people are saying or doing certain things. But I am sure, 100% sure, that if I ask you to give me some examples of opposite, there would be examples of opposite. If you are not able to find those examples at the moment, which I'm sure they are, but sometimes the reflection is hard, the sheer reason for existing and being here as you are here, that's the most important reason for you to be here, because you are you, and you have your own very specific experience to experience on this world, and that's your reason. Your reason is to exist. And then from that, it could be a million of other things. And you are special, and you are important. And everyone is. It doesn't mean that someone is more important than the other. Everyone is exactly the same important. And everyone is doing with their life whatever they feel is best in whatever philosophy of ethics and values they have, from whatever childhood they came from, obviously, and that's their way, and we can judge them, or they conscious can judge them. Everyone has got conscious. I was reading this very this article, is like philosophical article about conscious and where it comes from and what it is. But is that a judge? Is that something that is part of like a human, and so on and so forth? But anyway, I am just saying that with a lot of passion, because I when I was walking on the street today, I was just going to the post office. I saw this girl, and she wasn't probably older than maybe 14 years old, and she just had such a sad looking face. I felt so sad, as if I was seeing the word suffering on her very pale face, and I couldn't do anything about this, and it's just making me so sad that I couldn't help her. And I couldn't. I hope that she's okay. And I wanted to say that that's why I wanted to say that you are important. And I just get emotional, so it's probably better that I didn't record this as a video. But I just saw this suffering on the face, and kind of the only thing I can say, again, relate to me, is that this time of life is very difficult. The 14, 15, 16, 17, going through a lot of things, and I remember myself, it was difficult. Heartbreaks, parents, school, hormones, probably, I didn't really know back then, and everything. And it's probably even more difficult right now with the information overload, with what's happening in the world. And I just have this face of the girl, of the very pale, sad face of like the word misery there in this young girl. And I just hope that she finds the strength And it was just a fleeting, it was just Wednesday in January. That can be a sad month itself. So hopefully she comes out of this, and it was just momentary. And obviously every one of us have got these moments when we are sad, when we are really miserable because something happened, or just it's the gray day and there is no sun, or and we come out of this. So, and I'm sure that this is what's going to happen. And maybe I was reading too much into this, maybe because of my own sort of feelings and things that were happening around me as well. But I felt like that was the case, like she wasn't feeling worthy, and then the sadness was from there. So this would spark this a little bit of emotional outburst. And again and again, I feel like lately in every one of my podcast episodes, I keep saying you are worthy, you are loved, and you are important. Maybe because it's January or whatever, planets are moving like crazy again, meaning that there are changes, and just the feeling is kind of a little bit up and down, feeling like it's going really fast but also slow in the same time. So yes, for anyone feeling like this, and for myself as well, the reflection, the sitting with the feelings, and the knowledge, it's not even the knowledge, it's not even the faith, but it's the understanding, it's the inner understanding of this importance of being loved. I just leave you with that. Thank you so much for listening, and give it a like and share if you would like to, and hopefully this helped you today. Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.